All right, so Paul Jahnige, Mass Office of Outdoor Recreation, and Paige and myself are going to head down into Fallon. We're going to take Paul in here and we'll get to show the Office of Outdoor Recreation what caving is in Massachusetts, and hopefully we can work with them in the future, or at least give them a positive
off to a good start
example of what we got here. So I'll kind of take a slow tour, show you around, teach you what's what. If you want to stop, you want to check anything out, take pictures, just let me know. This is what they call the insurgent entrance. The water used to flow through here. Porcupines live off in there. So like I said, we dug all the porcupine crap out, all the loose rock, all the dirt, and we reopened this. This had been closed for 20 years or so. And now it's much more spacious, much more safe.
I don't know if I've ever come into this one. I've always done that.
Move a couple spider webs for you. So just slide under. You're gonna be in a little bit of a wide enough area here. You're gonna want to turn around here, okay? And you're gonna want to start going head first from here. So right here, there's a larger area. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn around. And now I'm gonna just start doing an elbow and a knees crawl through the mud. Okay. So now you get the uncomfortable part over with. This is much more spacious. This is all porcupine poop that we had to dig out of there. That whole entrance was plugged solid with it.
Whew. Never liked that way.
You don't like that way?
No.
Yeah, usually we'll come in through the culvert entrance and this is our exit. And like I said, the rest of it is clean. You're not going to get muddy. It's just right at the entrance and exit. You're going to get a little dirty. And then if you want to do pictures and video of yourself, the best thing to do is shut your light off real quick, because what it's going to do is it's going to show you a huge light. So I'm going to shine you that way. That'll work for you.
Let's see. Oh, you want to turn your light off?
I figured you was doing selfies. There you go.
Well, I could do a selfie too, right?
Yep. Ooh. Yeah, if I turn that one on, it'll probably light you up a little bit.
Don't turn mine off.
It's all about the lighting.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, turn your light off for a minute.
Oh, you're not going to see nothing if I shut mine off. There you go. Take that one.
Because my... okay, I'm going to turn mine on then.
Yeah, so now when you take your pictures, it's going to be like a bright blur. You might only see your light, but...
Here we are in the cave. Woo! Oh, beautiful in here. That's where we came in.
All you need is a couple dedicated diggers that are willing to spend their weekends, like 2 weekends, 4 days of just digging out the poop.
So you have other people who are helping you dig, willing to dig? So
Anna with the Boston Grotto is very anxious to come out here and help. So she will be coming out soon. Bodie's come out and help. Anthony, who was the kid, that got caught trespassing and we took him in, he's been out, and that's the thing. These young kids that want to learn, they don't have a place to go, and then they don't know any better, and nobody will teach them. But now that they're involved, they're like, oh my God, I can get into this. I can explore. I can find new caves. So they're willing to put the work in. And yeah, as we're getting older, we need younger people that are willing to help. And
wow.
what we like to do too is, take them out on an adventure and go to like, Eldon's Cave or something pretty and nice. You don't have to be out here working every weekend.
Yeah. What's the gold?
It's like spores, is from what my understanding is. I would like to know more information. This is like coming in here and seeing this is what I want to learn more about, like what really intrigues me.
So this is where I'm trying to pair her up with Jim Moore, as far as him using his education of it and telling you exactly what it is instead of us guessing and giving you the wrong answer.
Yeah.
She's wants to put reports together and studies and find out exactly what is it.
Yeah.
No, I do like this book. I'll see what the air quality is.
Yep. So if you set smoke off here, it's coming out 700 feet later at our dig site. If you can hear the water here. When we get to that, I'll show you that's coming from the stream outside that goes into the hillside and goes into Cowbone Cave. And then it turns a corner and it comes back in here, which is why we know it's a connection. Back in the 80s, 90s, they were in Cowbone Cave and they were in here and they were making a voice connection from the two caves. So it's a small crack in the wall, and when you see it, you think, oh, it's too bad you can't fit through there. Well, there's more cave like this just around the corner. It's with being as least destructive as possible. Can we find another way? Like if we dug under that wall, is there a way in? Could there be like a small little pocket somewhere that's going to be less intrusive? So that's what we're digging on the other side for, is to try to find a less invasive way. So Paige actually pushed this, and one of the cavers, he goes by Caver Tim, when he was in here for the first time, this is an unmapped section of the cave. He ended up saying, you know what, I can fit in there. And it goes up, it goes behind the wall, it goes up, and there's like a 3-foot room in there.
Oh, wow.
And you wouldn't know that unless you pushed it.
Yeah.
So this water flow, there's actually up there, it's like a waterfall coming down the rock. So to get up there, you got to lay in the water and you get wet.
Cool.
So there's a little bit of adventure for everybody. There'll be a tight spot here I can show you where.
So what like on the map? Is this a 2 foot? What is this? 3 feet? What is this?
Yes. So this is probably 2 foot. But when you get over here, like technically you could stand up right here if you wanted to. But just for convenience, hands and knees crawling. But if you want to stand up right here, so they call this, 6 foot ceiling height, because technically you can stand up, you can stretch around. So heading that way leads to Cowbone Cave. And you can see the crack in the wall right there.
Yeah.
Now, there's a chance you could lay in the water and squeeze your way through there. We tried digging it, but it's a giant marble slab in the water. So there's no digging past that. What we're hoping is, maybe by coming in the back way, we can find that, like there, like under the wall. Like there's more passage there. But we've been able to put a camera on a pole, stick it through there, get to the other side and find out it does turn the corner and there is more passage there.
I think I always bypassed
So theoretically, you're 2 feet of rock right here. And then there's another cave on the other side of this wall. And it's just a matter of doing some exploratory work. We do a lot of camera work. And like I said, voice and smoke tests to make sure that we're going in the right direction and we're not doing anything without payoff.
And at some point in the past, this was all coral reef, huh?
This was all marble.
But before that, at some point it must have been reef.
I don't know that. That would be
because I think marble is like, it's a metamorphic stone that comes from limestone.
Yes. So the limestone then becomes super hot, and turns to marble, and then this is where I kind of lose the timing as far as the glacial period and what they call post something, paleo or non-paleo, which is were they here before the glaciers came or after the glaciers came.
Yeah, okay.
And then that's where Mike and Jim are great with information. They can tell you all these caves in the area and when did they form and were they formed from water from the glacier melt or were they already here?
Yeah.
So this is going to be the marble bench you're going to have to just lay on. You'll see how smooth and clean it is.
Yeah.
And you can follow me, I'll show you how to slide. And that's the only tight spot in the cave.
All right.
But see stuff like this, pay attention to this. How smooth, how sculpted it is, like water came through here and carved the marble. If we get into the new cave that we found and into the dig, you'll notice that the walls aren't like this. The walls are very rough, very unformed, which makes us think that there's still another cave that we're missing. That's a secondary water flow after one collapsed and filled up. So the easiest way to do this is just put your chest on it and just slide your way through. And you're back in a spot where you can kind of stoop walk. So we'll get some snail shells and stuff that come up in here. Yep.
Wow.
You'll find them in the water. This is where we found the raccoon skull when the hikers came through because we happened to stop and were conversing and they looked around. I've been through here 2,000 times and never saw that. And we do have some small formations on the ceiling that kind of start here, but you know, these aren't like
that's so cool.
southern Georgia, Tennessee caves with big stalactites and stalagmites. This is just more marble carved by water that formed all this stuff. So, this is, so that caver Susan I was telling you about, first time caver, very nervous. She ended up getting so confident, we came in the other way, that she went and tested herself and went through this little tight squeeze over there. So instead of staying in this big open cave, if you really want to push yourself, there's a tight little tube over there.
Oh, that's great.
And you can squeeze through it. Alright, so you know, you work your way up to it.
And that goes around, that next?
Yeah, so if I wanted to show you, I could go in right here. So you come in right here.
Cool.
And then I go around and I meet you. You can take my word for it.
No, I can see your light. Have you always been interested in caves?
So really my start, like when I was younger, all we had was Purgatory Chasm in Sutton.
Yeah.
And again, like people give me crap, well, you don't have to have underground caves in your title. Everybody knows caves are underground. Well, not there, they're not. You know, King Philip's Cave, Purgatory Chasm, they're more like holes in rocks. They're not really like this. So I didn't know this type of stuff really existed in this area.
Yeah.
So when we first went through the culvert entrance, that was my first time seeing this cave, was looking down that passageway and I was like, holy crap, like look at I didn't know. And now I own this. Like this is awesome, which is to have been a kid and not know this and people not share that, and then even in my 30s try to find it and not be able to get the information is, I'm thrilled with being able to give it back and like show the younger people and let them in and like they can have the same awe of, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
So this is, I'll move so you can get out of the water. This is one of the little areas where everyone will sit and take a break and converse if they want. But it's not going to flood, you're not going to drown. Like, this is about an inch of water, that's about it. There's some geological stuff too, like how the water's cut under this wall.
Yeah.
And how, if you were to dig this floor down, dig this sediment out, the cave would be taller. It would be deeper. I mean,
Yeah, right.
at the other end, we took 4 feet of dirt out.
Yeah.
And made it a 4-foot travelable passage. But this is primarily what it is. So this is the lower part. As we turn the corner, we're going to go through a hole in the wall there, and then it flips. And
We're
you're
gonna
not
go through there.
Yep. You're not in a horizontal passage anymore. You're in a vertical passage, and then you're walking. So you kind of have the stoop crawl area here, and then you have the vertical walking, and then that area you have more water flow. The water's kind of waterfalling and dropping down the marble, and it's a prettier area. It's a better area for pictures.
Kevin, look what I found.
Was that a little snail shell?
Yeah.
So Kevin, where are we gonna go next?
So next, there's a little hole in the wall over there, and I think you
Right
guys
there?
are- Well,
We're gonna go in there?
actually, no, we're gonna go that way, and then there'll be another hole in the wall. So don't worry, we'll get you there.
No, I was just adding a little
Yeah, you had a little humor.
little fun for the camera.
So this is actually what would be considered a sinkhole.
Because that's filled in from.
So you can see all this dirt, like this dirt is coming from up here.
Yeah.
So if you can see the earth above you and the rock collapse that fell down to jam that hole up. And if we were at the surface and we remove the dirt, remove those rocks, we have another way into this cave right here. But we have a way in and out, so we're not doing any more digs. And we'll eventually get to the bigger sinkhole, and it'll be way more noticeable. You'll see a lot more dirt coming in. But you can see how like rounded, sculpted it is from all the water that used to wash in here and carve this out.
Yeah.
So this is what we talk about like a formed formation in the marble. It's smooth, it's been carved by water.
Yeah.
And if you get into the new section of the cave, you'll realize it hasn't been carved as long. It's not as developed as this.
Have you ever thought about or put a camera in when there's a big storm to see what how?
No, but sounds like a good idea. Maybe if we ever get a hurricane coming through here again.
Oh, this is good for my knees. It's like
So that's kind of like a cool little shot.
Yeah.
Now we got a lot more dirt coming in from the surface over there, so that would be another spot. There'll be a dig.
Do you have like a whole video tour on your Facebook page or anything?
Yep. So if you go to the Foundation for Underground Caves and Karsts, we have a Facebook page and a YouTube page. And basically, I've documented everything from when we first started digging, when we first bought the property, before we even put shovel in the ground, to digging the holes, putting the culverts in, the first time we seen the cave, and then trips through the cave, trips through with the Cub Scouts, trips through with the hikers, trying to just document everything, so it's there forever for everyone to see.
What is the sort of spotted? Is that just dirt that's sort of creating little spots?
Yep. So the gold color is like a mold, but if you can see all this dirt that came in, it's getting washed in from the surface.
Yeah.
What's happening is it's probably hitting and splattering and splashing as water comes in and splashes. Like you can see the little potholes here.
Yeah.
That start just from the water dripping, it'll start carving the marble away.
Yeah.
So. And then all this white polished marble is what all this is.
Yeah.
Underneath, it's just dirty from,
Yeah,
from mold and stuff.
this section must get underwater sometimes.
Yep, yeah, I imagine probably about that high.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this is where you were looking, and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go that way, right? Yeah, we're gonna go through that hole. Which, you know what, maybe we shouldn't go through that hole. You should go that way. You crawl in the water under there. I don't think anybody's ever done that, but it is an option. But I want to stay, you know, really dry today, so come right here. And then from here on out, we're gonna be standing up instead of crawling. So this is a nice little contrast piece.
Yeah, look at that.
There's not a lot of gray marble in this cave.
Uh-huh.
Once you get past about here, you can fit right here in this. And from the rest of the cave, we're walking from here. And this is a sinkhole from inside the cave view. So that, you know, big 30-foot circle that we see at the surface, this is where what's happened is all the earth is washing in here, washing in here. It'll fill the water will float away, and no matter how much dirt you put in that sinkhole, it's just going to keep falling in. So we're almost at the culvert exit, and in this section you kind of have a choose your own adventure. The safest and usual route is walk up here, stand up in the passage, just walk the rest of your way out. The secondary route is belly crawl through that little tube right there, and the most adventurous is drop down to the water and crawl very tightly all the way down the water.
So Paige, you're gonna crawl all the way down the water?
Obviously, yeah. No. Water's a little too cold for me today. I don't know if I can fit.
So, you can see the light from the culvert exit here. So this is where we're going to exit, and you can see a rope heading down a hole right there. That's what's called the signature room. From where the dirt is, it was all filled in. We dug from the surface all the way down to that dirt level to get access back into this cave. That back room was totally sealed off with dirt and mud. We had to shovel it out, kick it in, and get in there. And the waterway will connect to it. We have, you know, maybe 3-foot section of mud wall that we have to remove, but we can get in through the top, so we don't. If you want to go in to the signature room, turn around right here and go feet first, because you're gonna fall down basically from that height down to the water level. And there's a slope of dirt, so you're not really falling, and we get the rope there to hold on to. So that's where you go decide if you want to head out now, or if you want to just go down into the signature room, and then from the signature room you can decide if you want to scale the wall, and then you can decide if you want to go down the upper passage. Don't hurt to look.
Yeah.
We'll talk you into it.
Peer pressure, peer pressure.
So from right here, just turn around and you're gonna back yourself up.
He's good at convincing you that things are a good idea.
Have you been to the signature room?
Yeah,
Is it a good idea?
we used her as our sacrificial lamb. We tried to get her to do the tight squeeze so we didn't have to.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can say that doesn't necessarily mean anyone else can do this. But it is like you have to feel for it.
All right, so now you're gonna start coming down into the room. You got about 2 feet, and then you're gonna start your descent down. You might want to turn sideways.
Which way do I face?
Either way, so your stomach's up against the left or the right wall. It's just gonna be easier to slide in that way. And now you're gonna want your feet to drop another foot or two, and you're gonna be standing on the mud. So I'm right here by your feet. You get another 4 inches, and now you're standing on the dirt right there. So this is what they call the signature room. You'll see initials and dates scratched all into the wall. 80, 89. And I questioned, you know, like, yeah, 1989, what's so great about that? And then the guys that discovered it, like, no, we got in there in the 80s and these dates were already there. Like, this whole thing was sealed off. So these are, they're saying 1800s from the quarry workers that were here quarrying the marble. And the rumor is they'd come in here to eat their lunch, cool off. You know, it's cooler in here. It's kind of natural AC. And then we get the water flow going through there. And behind this rock, there's water flow. So what happens is it hits this room and it splits. And then when it reconnects, that's back in the new cave that we found. What you do, again, we got another signature right here. That actually looks like 1889 right there. 1889. If you were so adventurous, you'd go up here. And that's what we call the upper passage.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And from there, you're in a tight 2-foot squeeze and you can shimmy your way into the other room.
That sounds fun. No.
Nah, you good?
We'll do that next time.
So you can always, that's what YouTube's good for. You
Yeah.
can go on there, you can watch a video, and you can live vicariously through us.
Exactly.
But so basically, this is where if we were to have general public come in, new cavers, we would stop here. Anything above here, you need to know what you're doing. You need to have a guide with you. It's a safety thing. Like if something were to ever happen, make sure we have someone on the surface. But this is from here to where we came in is basically what's known as Found Cave.
Wow.
And 365 feet total length.
It's amazing.
And none of this mud was here.
Yeah.
This was all, so what happened was as he filled it in, it had to go somewhere. It kept filling this room up, filling this room up. So we can eventually dig and remove all this, and you're going to connect to that lower water level in that other cave. So.
Where did we come from? Oh, way up there.
So if you're super flexible and you can make a 90-degree turn right there and head from here up the culvert, cool. or just go straight to where you turned around, turn yourself around again, and come out head first. And there should be a rope there too if you need a little hand line to give yourself a little oomph out.
Just wondering if I can turn myself here.
The best way to do it is sideways, so have your left shoulder down on the ground and your right shoulder up.
One of my coworkers says my favorite thing about caving is that I don't have to do it.
I thought you were going to say coming out.
People I talk to are like, the craziest stuff out there. Yeah, Kevin saw our heads come out. I saw a mouse. It ran at me, and then I screamed, and then it went away. And then I got scared. So I took it.
Well, what'd you think?
That was great.
Yeah? Good.
That was amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem. We're glad to have you out. All right.